In a world full of imposters, how do we know when we're being real? In a world full of so much pain, will these drugs really help us heal? What did Jesus and Buddha say about our suffering and about our light? Isn't it turning our judgments to acceptance? Or are we more concerned with being right? Is self-love that elusive? Are we really that hard to forgive? We pay for some mistakes 1,000 times and miss 1,000 moments for us to just live. We get distracted by so many things every day. So let this podcast put us in park. But keep the seatbelt buckled tight and welcome to the light and the dark. Hey everyone, hope we're all having a great day filled with many smiles. Welcome to another episode of The Light and the Dark, brought to us by G Level. My name is Vinny, and as always, thank you for joining. If this is your first time joining, welcome. And if you have been here before, welcome back. So today's episode actually started out as what might potentially, possibly, could be called 7-minute sermons in the future. Going through other videos, I kind of jump around to different parables, different verses, different things, and I try to keep the same or similar, idea, thoughts, and point with them. But I thought it'd be cool to do something more like a 7-minute sermon. Obviously 7 minutes because 7 is the coolest number. So, but this episode, I wanted to talk specifically about the parable of the sowers in the Bible, and kind of do what I set out to do, and that's to relate things to goals, beliefs, and kind of intertwine them with an overall idea, thought, and overall perspective. I like that. An overall perspective of what I believe it is. So I'm going to start and kind of go through that. Now, I won't read the parable completely, but it's Matthew 13, and it's the parable of the sower. So a farmer goes out to sow some seeds, and as he's sowing the seeds, some of the seeds, they fall along the road. Some of the seeds, they fall amongst rocks. It's a little bit of soil, but mostly rocks. Other seeds, they fall amongst the weeds. And the remaining seeds, they fall in good soil. So when we look at these parables in a state of belief, in a state of goals, and how I believe Jesus wanted us to live life and give us that confidence and that belief and that courage in life, let's start with the first seeds that fell along the path, along the wayside. Now, these seeds were eaten up by birds immediately. And what it is when we have a belief, we have an idea, and it's something that might just come to us real quick, but we don't really give it any light, or we don't believe that we can achieve it. I hear often people, like I talk to people about, they want to get a new job because they're not happy in their job, but then they don't believe that, they're smart enough. They don't believe they're qualified enough. They don't believe that. So what happens is that seed never has time to plant. It never has time to grow because we just immediately reject it. And even something like something I think about is seeing a homeless person. How many times do we see a homeless person and immediately we were like, oh, I want to give them something, I want to help them, but then right after those thoughts come, and the doubts and the stories, and oh no, they're not really homeless, they're just going to buy alcohol or drugs or this or that. So that belief that we can help that person never takes roots. It never grows. It never goes past that. So we lose any anything and everything with that seed. That seed is now gone. Birds came in, swooped it up, took it away, gone, right? The next are the seeds that fell amongst the rocks. Now, with the rocks, there was a little bit of soil. So with these seeds, they actually did sprout up. They sprouted up, but they didn't have roots because it wasn't a lot of soil. So when the sun came, the sun scorched them and burnt them, and they withered away. These are like beliefs and ideas we have in life that we could be excited about and we can start. Let's say we go to start a business, new opportunity, and an obstacle comes. And that obstacle tests us, but we don't have roots. We're not rooted deep enough in our belief to where we believe we can achieve this. We're just kind of, giving it a feel, or we're just kind of testing the surface. So then when we have that obstacle that comes, we wind up losing an opportunity or leaving it out to dry. You get it? Because the sun dried it out. Anyway, so this takes place, though, not only with stuff like business opportunities, because our beliefs go towards everything in life. We always hear people say, we got to believe in God, we got to believe in Jesus, but it's just kind of saying that. And I don't think throughout my life I've really heard anybody explain what that entails. And that's what I would like to do today, is explain what that entails. Belief in Jesus and belief in God is belief in what we can achieve in this life. And there is no limit to that. Health, whether it's health, money, relationships, anything in life that we believe that we can achieve, God's with us. God's on our side. Now, that's for good, for love. If we believe that we can hurt people, well, we're going to get that too, but we're not, again, then we're praying to the darkness and putting that belief in the darkness and not the light. So we need to understand the difference there. But when these seeds fall amongst the rocks and don't have any root but just kind of sprout up, the sun, these are all temptations. So let's say, for temptation wise, let's say we want to find a partner. We've been single, we want to find a partner, and we believe that we can find a partner today. Then tomorrow comes, sun comes out, and temptation comes. And somebody that we know is not a partner, maybe somebody that's in a relationship, maybe somebody that, we know is not good for us, right for us, or somebody that would be a partner in life, we wind up giving in to temptation. And that's where a lot of the talk about sin comes in, because sin actually steers us away from our goals, away from that belief, because we're saying we want love, we're saying we want a partner, but then we're doing things the opposite. We're giving into sexual desires, and it's steering us away. Same thing with sobriety, the same thing with health and eating. It applies to everything in life. We can come up with a million different stories and a million different situations that we've all been through to where we've given in to temptation and not allowed the belief of whatever it is we're looking to go after or achieve take root and stand firm on it. So that's what happens when those seeds fall amongst the rocks. I love that this parable also, real quick, is seeds. Because seeds are like affirmations. Seeds are like the ultimate idea of growing something small to something large. And just like we all know, with a seed needs water. A seed needs sunlight. So when a seed needs things to grow, we're responsible for that. The world, the universe, God's responsible for the seeds outside, right? But our internal seeds, where we are deciding what we want, we're deciding our belief, we're deciding our direction, those are the seeds that we need to pay attention to. Now, the next group of seeds are the ones that fell amongst the thorns. And as it grows, the thorns grows up and chokes it. This is being mindful of the people that we're around and the people that we're listening to. And it's not just family and friends, it could be on social media, it could be at work, it can be random strangers, family, friends, everyone. Family and friends, I think, for the most part, they're not really trying to be thorns and choke out our dreams and our beliefs and our goals. But we all have our own fears. We all have our own doubts. We all have our own worries. We all have our own beliefs or lack of beliefs. So when these seeds start growing and they're being choked out, they're growing, but now they're being smothered by the fear and doubt of others and the world. I love that the saying where be mindful of the 5 people that we're around the most, because pretty soon we'll be the 6th. We're going to pick up habits from people. We're going to pick up fears. We're going to pick up good habits. We're going to pick up, things that will help us grow and help us get towards goals, confidence, or we're going to pick up laziness. We're going to pick up, not going after anything, being still, making excuses. There's so many different things that we can pick up from people. So be mindful who we're around. Be mindful who we listen to on social media. Be mindful who we're giving our attention to, because it could be thorns that we're giving our attention to that's going to suck our dreams and our goals out of us and just choke us into staying stagnant. And staying stagnant is not what God intended. It's not what this life is about. We've lived this day already. We don't need to live it every day. We don't need to relive it. It could be a great day. It could be a great day. But a great day is great and precious because it's just this moment. And then we move on to new ones. So those are the seeds that fell amongst the thorns. Now, the remaining seeds, these are beliefs and seeds that fell amongst good soil. When a seed falls on good soil, it's rooted. It's rooted in the ground, and it also will begin to show as well and sprout. A good seed, even though it's going to have the sun come, even though it's going to have our beliefs and our goals are going to have temptations that come with them. They're going to have those moments where we know we shouldn't go out because we're locked in on our goal, but we let somebody talk us into it. Or we use the excuse that we let somebody talk us into it, but really we're responsible for that. Unless you have friends that physically pull you and take you out somewhere, then just call an Uber when you get there. So these are the moments that we are locked in and we are like, okay, this is what I want to do. I believe that I can have it. I believe that I can do this. And I'm going to commit to it. These will produce, in there it says it produces like 100 or 60 or 30 times what was sown. But these are goals and dreams that just through that belief and just through watering it and having that repetition, we're going to then sprout fields of it. And then Jesus says, he who has ears, let him hear. We have an opportunity in this life to create, to lock in, to sow, to reap, to plant these seeds and just water them a little bit and watch forest grow. We have this opportunity right now. And it's something to be mindful of. It's something to take value in. I want to talk about a little bit below that. It's still Matthew 13, but it's verse 12. And this one I'm actually going to read because it's a little bit different than when I say it for some reason. So this one, Jesus says, whoever has will be given more, and they will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even that what they have will be taken from them. I just wanted to pull that specific one out, especially with something where we're talking about beliefs and we're talking about goals and we're talking about planting these seeds and where these seeds that we're planting are falling. What level of belief we're giving each seed, from the wayside to the rocks to the thorns or to the good soil. Because when Jesus says those that have will be given more and those that don't, even what they have, will be taken, I think this is very valuable to look at from a gratitude perspective. How often are we, or do we know somebody, but oftentimes we can know somebody, but we also do the same thing or experience the same things and act in the same ways sometimes too. So how often do we get something and we don't appreciate it? So we can get something cool, but we're upset because of this or because of that, or because, even a restaurant where we get our food, but we're upset because, we asked to not have ketchup on it, or, because we asked for French fries, but they gave us, salad, or and we get upset over it. Those moments, we're being given food, we're being given something, but we're not appreciating it. And when we have that mindset, not just for food, it could be, oh, well, I asked for something, I should get it. Of course, right? We can still be grateful. So when we're in that mindset of not appreciating things that come in our life, it becomes a habit. So then even what we have, even what we're given, is taken away because we don't appreciate it. So we get somebody good in our life, somebody that's positive, someone that's amazing, but we don't appreciate that person. So we look at all the faults in that person. So that person that would be somebody amazing and special in our life is now not, because we didn't show that person appreciation. We didn't show family members appreciation. We didn't show, the list goes on and on. And I think it's so amazing to think of gratitude and the power of gratitude. Always. Gratitude is where it's at. It is where it's at in every aspect of life. If anybody listening, including myself, ever says, I have nothing to be grateful for, wrong. We always have something to be grateful for. When we aren't grateful, though, even when we get something new, even when we get something cool, even when we have an amazing person in our life, it'll be taken from us. It'll be taken from us because we're not giving it the appreciation and the gratitude that it deserves. Something that we can switch and something we can change, because also those that have, more will be given. This works the exact same way. Jesus is saying that when we approach life from a grateful heart, when we approach life from appreciation, everything that we're given, we're grateful for. We get that same side of salad instead of French fries, and we're grateful for it. We can even say, we could create whatever perspective we want. We can even say, oh, guess it wasn't meant to be for French fries. Thanks for looking out for me, God. We could say whatever we want. And we can even have somebody in our life that's going through something, and we're still grateful for those moments and grateful for those opportunities to be around that person and kind of grow with them. So the more that we're grateful in life, the more we show gratitude every day, every moment, the more we're going to be given in this life. So be mindful of how grateful we're being, and be mindful of when we're not. Because if we want to keep being ungrateful, that's fine. If we want to keep being ungrateful, we're going to lose even that what we have. But if we're going to keep being grateful, the abundance is going to keep abundant. Yeah, it's going to keep abundant for sure. So, not sure if that was 7 minutes. I didn't time it, but that was the idea for it. I wanted to kind of stay more on one topic. Again, thank everybody that comes and shows support and love to this podcast. I really appreciate it. And I had somebody on my team come and just kind of saw the podcast and saw what I did. So shout out Spidey. Appreciate you, man. And as always, smile big and smile often.